Hey guys, how you doing? Back for another fight card, which is going to be coming next week, September 22nd, from the Canada Centre for UFC 165, where the MMA's pound for pound number one, Jon Jones, defends his title against Alex the Mauler Gustafsson, as I say, in Toronto. Bones back for the third time in Toronto. Seems to kind of like it fighting over there. He fought Machida and Belfort with wins there, so yeah, I'm just going to get into the fight card. We're coming off three fight cards within a week, not so long ago. I don't know about you. I'm a fight fan. I love watching fights, but I thought maybe it was just a little bit too much. One card too many. We had UFC 164 sandwiched in there, which was a really great card from top to bottom. And we had a new lightweight champion, Anthony Showtime Pettis, probably the most flashiest guy in the UFC, with a submission victory. I don't know how many people pulled that one off, but congratulations to Anthony Pettis. Great win. But see, we're at this card here. Um, Quite a good card, a lot of good fights in it, some fighters I'm looking forward to seeing. So I'm just going to go straight into it, get through it, and then get to the main card as quickly as I can. Um, Nando Aguilamino against Daniel Omalanzuk. Two guys I'm not really caring for this fight too much. Nando, the Hun, he lost the last time out to Josh Barnett. Omalanzuk, I've not really seen much of him, but I'm going to go just Nando by TKO in the second from what I've seen of Omalanzuk. Next up, Ronald Delorme is coming off a victory over Edwin Figueroa at UFC 161 in Winnipeg against Alex Caceres, who's coming back after a no contest after I think he failed some kind of test or something. So, close fight. It'll go to decision, I reckon. I think Alex Caceres hopefully will get it, because he's quite a talented fighter. He's just he hasn't really got the staying power, I don't think, to kind of really do anything in the bantamweight division. But I actually quite like him as a character. So Caceres by decision. Next up, we've got Jesse Ronson against Michel Prazeres. Prazeres is coming off his loss to Paulo Thiago, 16-1. Ronson's a newcomer at the UFC. What I've seen of him, he doesn't look too great. But I'm going to go for Prazeres by decision. John Makdessi against Renee Forte. Forte had a great win in London this year against Terry Etten, moving down to the lightweight division. Makdessi coming off a win over Darren Cruikshank. Close fight this. I like Rennie Forte as well. Hopefully he can pull off the kind of upset in this. Next we're on to the Fox Sports 1 card, which starts off with a fight I'm really looking forward to seeing in Dustin Kimura, who faces off against Mitch Gagnon. Kimura looked very impressive in his first fight, I thought, against Chico Camus, and got a late submission via Kimura, I think it was. And Gagnon's come off, I think, his first win in the UFC. Dustin Kimura, I think, is going to win this by submission, first or second round. Then we've got some strikers in the welterweight division. We've got Stephen Thompson, the Wonder Boy, against Chris Clements, fighting in Canada again. Close fight this could be. Stephen Thompson, I think, is coming off his first loss, if I remember right, in the UFC. In fact, I'm lying, he beat Renan Barao at UFC 160. Before that, he lost to Matt Brown, who's on a tear at the minute. So yeah, and Chris Clements, I know he's coming off a loss. I could be completely wrong there again. No contest, Matt Riddle, of course, failing the drugs test, no surprise there. And his other kind of win was Keith Wisniewski as well, so nothing special. Both very good strikers here, but I like Stephen Thompson. I think he can knock Clements out, and I think he'll do it in the second round. Next up, we've got Ivan Menjivar, one of the veterans of the lower weight divisions, against Wilson Heiss. Heiss, I actually watched him last year when Cage Warriors came to Glasgow, and he won by submission over there. Looked pretty solid, but I think Menjivar's just got too much for him, and it's going to be an easy win here for Menjivar by. I think he can submit the black belt, and Heiss, even though he's really quite a top level black belt, I think he can submit him. If not, he'll get an easy decision as well. Next up, we've got Mike Ricci against Myles Jury. Not a big fan of Ricci, coming off a kind of smelly fight against Colin Freak Show Fletcher. But I am looking forward to seeing Myles Jury, because I think this kid's kind of making good progress in the division, and he looks like he's improving. Every fight you see him, he looks like he's improving. He's coming off a knockout at Ramsey in the gym last time out. I think Myles Jury can finish this fight. I think he can submit Ricci. I think he can knock him out. but I think he'll get an easy decision over Ricci all night long. So that's the early starts of the prelims. We're on to the main card now, with some really good fights, a couple of championship fights as well. I forgot to mention the co-main event. So we start off in the lightweight division, and it's Pat Healy coming off a win over Jim Miller, which got turned into a no contest, I think, because he failed a marijuana test and lost out about 100 grand's worth of bonus money against Khabib Nurmagomedov, who is coming off an absolute mauling of Abel Trujillo. As I say, Healy, he's faced the best outside the UFC. He beat one of the best in the lightweight division in Jim Miller last time out. Very, very solid fighter, very, very scrappy. Loves to kind of get down and dirty and just make it just a hard fight wherever it goes. He's quite a big lightweight as well. And he's against Khabib Nurmagomedov here, who is, from what we've seen in the UFC in his 4 fights, Belarus, Tavares, Trujillo, I can't remember his other fight, he's got some knockout power there, and he has got probably some of the best grappling the UFC has to offer by quite a long way. He, as I say, the last time out against Abel Trujillo, he absolutely fucking ragdolled him for the whole fight and just kept picking him up, throwing him down, just rolling him everywhere, and just making him look like a bitch. And it was kind of, at the weigh-ins, he missed weight, which was kind of stupid. I don't think Dana was too happy. Plus he pushed Trujillo as well, but he totally dominated Trujillo and made him just look inferior everywhere it went on the ground. He is one of the Sambo guys from Russia, who these guys are, I think there's a lot of these guys coming into the UFC now, and they're going to be around, and they're going to be tough, and they're going to be fighting for titles because they're grappling second to none, and they've just got great striking as well, most of them as well. But I think Khabib is going to win this fight, and I think he could submit Pat Healy. Pat Healy's kind of known, he can get submitted, and I think with Khabib's grappling and Sambo, he's just going to get him down, and he's going to submit him. So I think he could do that in the second round. So I'm going to go Nurmagomedov by second round submission, rear naked choke. Next up, we've got Costa Philippou against Francis Carmont. Carmont's been he's a big guy. He just kind of gets you down and he keeps you down, lay and pray. I think he's been working with GSP a little bit too much for that. But I don't think he can do that with Costa Philippou. He's got quite good takedown defence. He's a boxer by trade. He works with he's out the Longosera team, I think. Very, very, very tough fight, and he's coming off a great win over Tim Boach where he knocked him out last time out for Philippou. So this is a big fight for Carmont. He's kind of went up. He's not lost in the UFC. I think he got a kind of crappy decision against Lawrence Larkin last time out, which I thought Larkin had won. But I think Philippou, he can stop him here. But for some reason, Carmont is kind of calling out to me. I want Philippou to win. I think Carmont's going to get a hometown decision in this one and win by a split decision. Next up, we've got a couple of heavyweights. Brandon Schaub against Matt Mitrione. Brandon Schaub, I don't know really why he's still in the UFC. He's a really good guy. I've spoke to him on Twitter a few times. Really nice guy. The guy's got no chin. And the last time out against LeVar Johnson, he just held him down to the ground, which is fair enough. If you haven't got a chin and you're in the heavyweight division and you're facing a guy like LeVar Johnson who has just got massive fists, and as soon as you touch your chin, you go out. Got KO'd the last 2 times before that against Ben Rothwell and Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. But he's against Matt Mitrione here, who is he's a striker, and when he hits you, you will know about it. He's got some good KOs to his record, and he's quite a tough fight as well. He's coming off a loss, I think, to Roy Nelson last time out. He was on tough years back. I didn't like him back then. He's actually kind of grown on me a little bit. In fact, he's coming off a win over Phil De Vries, which isn't really hard because he's got no chin either. Away back in April in Sweden. I think Mitrione's striking. Schaub, these are 2 guys that were in the NFL before, or run about the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see I think Schaub will go to the ground and try and take Mitrione down. We'll just need to see what Mitrione's takedown defence is like. It should be quite easy. I think this is going to be a stand-up fight. I think the takedowns are kind of negate one another. They'll not take it there. And I just think Mitrione's striking's heavier. It's and Brendan Schaub has got a little bit of a glass chin, unfortunately. So I think Mitrione is going to get a KO. I don't know what round it could be, but I think he will knock him out in the fight. So I'm going to go Mitrione KO. Let's go second round. Co-main event. We've got interim champ Renan Barao against Eddie Wineland here. Now Eddie Wineland's a former WEC champ. Very, very solid fight. I like watching Eddie Wineland fights. He came off a great fight against Brad One Punch Pickett. Now anybody that beats Pickett is a good fighter because he doesn't lose to many bad fighters. Barao beat him in I think it was Birmingham 138 when I was there. He doesn't lose to bad fighters, Brad Pickett. So Eddie Wineland is a very, very tough fight for Renan Barao. For some reason, I've been in my head, Eddie Wineland is winning this fight, and I've thought this for a while now. He's going to say, I can't get him out of my head. Every time I think this should be quite easy for Barao. He can stand on the feet. When it goes to ground, he's a lot superior. And Eddie Wineland is kind of suspect to maybe getting submitted. For some reason, he's sticking in my head in this one. And maybe we're going to have a new champion. But Renan Barao is a beast, and he's beat the best in the division. As I say, Pickett, he beat Faber. In my eyes, he should be the full champion because Dominic Cruz has been out far too long. Hopefully he's back soon because he's a great fighter and we need him back in the UFC. But his last couple of fights, he beat Michael McDonald where he submitted him in London as well. Tough fight, a really tough fight for me to pick here. But I like Barao when he goes to the ground, and I think he can submit him. So I'm going to go Renan Barao, fourth round submission. And then we're on the main event. One of my favourite fighters ever, Jon Jones. He's only just behind Diego Sanchez and my favourite fighters. Faces Alexander Gustafsson. Now, Jon Jones, since Anderson Silva's lost, is the pound for pound number one in mixed martial arts. He has beaten everybody in this division, nearly cleared the whole division out, except for these two guys, who I think he will fight in his next two fights. Well, he will fight Alexander Gustafsson, and then he will defend his title against Glover Teixeira. So, Jon Jones, let's talk about Jon Jones. He's just very, very good everywhere. He's striking with Mike Winklejohn has come on leaps and bounds since he's went to Jackson's. He uses like teep kicks and oblique kicks to kind of keep his range. We might not be able to do this in this fight because Gustafsson's reach is just nearly as good as Jon Jones. His clinch game is awesome. Greco-Roman wrestling, he can throw you about. We haven't really seen much of that since like UFC 100. In fact, when he did it to Stephen Bonner, he threw him around like a rag doll. But his submission skills are off the chart as well. And Gustafsson's only loss in the UFC came to Phil Davis at UFC 112. So this is where I think this fight might kind of take place. I think Jon Jones will kind of feel him out a little bit for the first round. And I think in second round he's going to take him down. And I think he can submit Alexander Gustafsson or knock him out from the ground. But say Jon Jones is coming off wins over Rampage, Shogun, Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort where he nearly got caught in an armbar, Chael Sonnen and then he broke his toe. So Jon Jones is like the complete package, I think. We haven't seen off his back yet, which would be interesting to see if that ever happens, what he's like from there. But he's just a beast everywhere, and I don't think he can be touched in this division, if I'm being honest with you. Alexander Gustafsson, long reach on him, always moving, kind of like Dominic Cruz, moving in and out, very crisp, very good with his jab and hooking as well. This is a tough fight for Jon Jones. It's another kind of class up in opponent, I think, but I still think it's quite easy for Jon Jones, I'm afraid. So I'm going to go Jon Jones by second or third round submission, and he moves on to face Glover Teixeira, who a lot of people are putting a lot of pep into Glover Teixeira. For some reason I can't see why. He is very tough. He's on a 20-fight winning streak. He deserves his title shot, no doubt. Very, very good on his feet. A black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. he will be tough for Jon Jones, but I just think Jon Jones has got more than what Glover Teixeira has, and he won't be touched in this division for as long as he stays in it, until he moves up to the heavyweight division, whenever that will be. So they are my picks there for UFC 165. I think we'll be back fairly soon. I think there's a card in October, let me see. I think there's a few cards in October. I'll be going to one down in Manchester, which I'm really looking forward to, the UFC 166 as well. Let's see. So yeah, we have got some events as well. But see, that's my pick. Come on, Jon Jones, bring the belt home. Let's see that fight with Glover Teixeira. Let's see what people are talking about Teixeira. See if this fight's going to be a great one. Come follow me on Twitter, Big Bilber 7 MMA. Like and share this video if you can. Tell me your picks as well. And I will see you just after UFC 165. I'll probably pop out another video then. So enjoy the fight card when it comes around next weekend. All the best, and I will see you soon. Take care.